Well, hello Internet, and welcome to part 4 of my After Effects tutorial. Today I'm going to focus in on masks, and I'm going to show you how to make this crazy animation, and I have a lot to do, so let's get into it. Alright, so the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a site called pexels.com, and I'm going to download some free videos. That's the only reason why I'm doing this. So I'm going to go videos, and I'm just going to pick up some random videos. I'm doing this whole video right out of my head. So, what's this? Alright, that looks interesting, so let's download this video. And what else looks interesting? This is very slow. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, that's kind of cool. So let's download this. And you can download anything. You don't need to do anything special or anything. And I'm just looking for videos that are basically the same sort of subject, but from different angles. All right? But I want to keep everything horizontal. And the other video I'm going to get is this one right here. Okay? But feel free to download anything that you would like. And now that I have my videos, I can jump over into After Effects. All right, so here we are, and I'm just going to go New Project, and then I'm going to import some stuff. And in the description, I'm going to have a link to the backgrounds that I'm going to use in this, and everything's the same on Windows and Mac, and I will tell you the different commands depending upon the different operating systems as the tutorial continues. So I'm going to say File, Import. And I'm going to be doing some crazy things here, so hopefully my computer can handle it. I know my Windows computer can handle it, but sometimes my Mac stumbles a bit here. Alright, so I imported the background, and I imported the two videos. I'm going to go and I'm actually going to talk about masks here first. Okay, so basically masks are used to hide or affect your layer. I'm just going to drag a video down inside of here. So here is our video with the cars speeding by. And you're going to create them using either a shape, one of these shapes up here, or by drawing with your pen tool. I'm mainly going to be drawing shapes, however, but I will talk about the pen tool, definitely. And unlike mats, the masks are actually part of your layer down here in your timeline. And let's say I come in here with just a rectangle tool and I just start drawing. Well, as you can see here, the mask is only going to show the video it's tied to where the mask shows up. Let's switch into V here and let's just move this around. So I want to drag this out and I'm holding the Shift key. And let's deselect everything here. And if you double click on the binding box, that's going to allow you to rotate your mask as well as scale your mask to whatever size you would like it to be. Then you can double click on it again if you would like to do any type of moving it around within your box. So just click on or double click on the binding box to change into the different modes. And then basically click inside of your mask and then you'll be able to resize it to whatever size you'd like. Now, the largest vertex you're going to see, this one up here, is referred to as your first vertex. And if you would like to change it to another vertex, what you do is, let's say I want this one to be my first vertex. I would just select it, right-click on my new vertex, go to Mask and Shape Path, and say Set First Vertex. And now it's the first vertex. Now, in some situations, you might want to show what is outside of your mask. In that situation, we come down here, and right next to where it says inverted, just check inside of there. And there you go. Not something that's often used, but just wanted to make you aware of it. Now, if we come down here and open up the different properties, you're going to see Mask Path, which we're going to use a lot later on, is going to be used to animate the size or the type of shape. So let's say I wanted to change this from a rectangle into an ellipse. Well, I could just click on Shape, and you can go in here and change the binding box sizes. And if you wanted to change it into an ellipse, you could just say ellipse and check this and say OK, and it automatically changes it into an ellipse. But I don't want to do that. Now, if you would like to go and change one of your vertices into a Bezier curve, what you can do is come up here to your pen tool, come down to Convert Vertex Tool, and click on any of the vertices, and you'll be able to mess around with our Bezier handles and stretch and warp everything however you would like. You'd also be able, with your pen tool, to come in here and add different vertices just by going and getting the pen tool that allows you to add vertices like that. And, well, let's throw one in there. You're also going to be able to delete vertices just by selecting that tool, and there it goes away. And another thing you're going to be able to do is control feathering just by dragging it in like this or pulling away from your mask. All right, but I'm going to not do any of those things right now. Now down inside of here, again with these properties, you're going to be able to change the opacity for the masked area. Bringing it down, or 100% is all you can do with it. Expansion is going to change the area shown around your mask. As you can see right there, it's expanding and contracting. And these are things, of course, that can all be animated. Anything with a stopwatch next to it can be animated. You're also going to be able to create multiple different masks. So let's say that I wanted to come in here and create another mask for some reason. I can just come in and expand it like that and do all kinds of funky, weird shapes. Or I could come in and draw a mask inside of here. And let's say I don't want to show this one area inside of here. Of course, I could go and get inverted from this. Of course, I can go inverted right here with our first mask and then show these different areas. You can do all kinds of crazy things. So just experiment. But I'm going to get rid of that second mask there. And I'm just hitting undo. I'm not doing anything else special. Now there's different options down here. If I go and instead click on subtract, it's going to delete the mask and anything it intersects with. I can also go to intersect, and it's only going to show where both masks intersect. So I'd have to have two masks on there at one time. So you can experiment with that. Darken is going to delete the mask and where it intersects. Again, this was using two different masks, and difference is going to show all except where masks intersect. But we're just going to use add because it's the most common. Another shortcut is if you have your pen tool, you're going to be able to use it on any of your vertices to just go and move them around inside of here. So you don't need to go back and forth between the selection tool and the pen tool. And of course, with the pen tool, you're going to be able to come in here. And again, as long as you have your video here that you're working with selected, anything that you come in here and draw with your pen tool is going to be considered a mask as well. And you can see now it says mask too. All right. Another thing with your pen tool is, let's say that you would want to go and draw pretty much straight lines. So you want to go from here to this point. You can just hold down Shift and automatically does it. And then it's also going to go at 45-degree angles, and it just allows you to do more precise, neat-looking types of drawings. And if you would come in here, and I'm going to get rid of all those, if you would come in and click and drag, it's automatically going to make this into a Bezier point. And if we come down here, you can see it's very easy to draw curves with your pen tool. Another trick is if you hold either Alt or Option, again, I'm using the default pen tool here, and you come to any of your vertices, hold down Alt or Option, depending upon your operating system, it's automatically going to convert to Bezier handles and Bezier points. And if you ever need to center your pivot, as you can see here, this pivot is not centered. Just come up here where we have pan behind, and then either hold Command or Control to have it go directly in the center as you drag your pivot point. And another thing that's going to be very handy is if you ever want to show all of your mask properties, you can just click on M, and it's going to show, just open up the very first mask path. But if you hit MM, it's going to show you every single property. All right, so that's just a rough overview of the basic sort of like shortcut things you can use to manipulate vertices and masks. And now what I'm going to do is create the animation you saw at the very beginning of the video. Very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and I'm going to say new composition. I'm just going to let it be comp 1. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take it down to HDV 1080 2997, change this to 30, and leave the duration at 13. It's not going to be anywhere near. Actually, it's going to be closer to 5 seconds. So just do that. Leave the background as black and click on OK. All right, so here is the beginning of our video. And of course, you can go composition settings here just to check out what's going on. Actually, this is incorrect. I want this to be 1920 by 1080. Good thing I checked. And click on OK. All right, so there you are, a normal looking video. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get our background image. You can get this. There's a link in the description to get it. And I'm going to be at the 0 mark. And basically what I'm going to do with this background is I'm just going to take it and drag it upwards. So I'm going to come over here, select backgrounds right there, and click on P to show position. Click on the little stopwatch. I'm going to go 3 seconds into our future. Like that, you can see that the time code changed over here to 3 seconds. I'm going to grab this image and pull it up here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, oh, I see. So let's go back to the beginning right here and drag it down to this position. And I'm just going to hit my arrow keys here just to make sure that it's in position. Yes, it looks good. And then I'm going to come out to 3 seconds and I'm going to drag it up. So it's going to animate, and this is basically what the iMovie transition looks like. And if you come inside of here, you can see that it sort of sweeps through. All right, it's like a bulletin board type of thing, corkboard. All right, so got the background all set up. Now what I want to do is start throwing different videos in here and then animate the videos, and they're all going to be masked. All right, so the original Mac template goes by in like 1 second. I'm going to stretch this into 3 seconds just so you can see it a little bit better, just like you saw it at the very beginning of this video. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I might as well just work with the video that I have right here. And it's already set up as a composition. So I'm just going to double click on that. And I'm going to drag a video down inside of here. So here is our very first animation. Now the window is going to have a white border around it. So very first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select this. I'm going to go S so I show the scale of this. And I'm going to shrink down the scale. And the main reason why I'm shrinking down the scale is just so I can throw a white border behind it. So I'm going to go my rectangle tool. So I'm going to deselect everything after scaling this. And then I'm going to go to my rectangle tool. I'm going to turn off the stroke. And then I'm going to turn the fill to white. I'm going to go and scale this down, this video inside of here. Doesn't really matter how small I make it. And then I'm going to deselect out from anything there, get my rectangle tool, make sure the fill is white and the stroke is non-existent. And then I'm going to draw my rectangle around this box. And then I'm going to grab that shape layer and drag it so the video is on top. All right, so there is my first composition. Jump back into my regular composition and then drag this guy out here on the screen. And it is going to be scaled. So I'm going to go again, hit S, and I'm going to scale it. I'm going to hold down Shift and R, also show the rotation. So let's go and get it, and let's go and rotate it a little bit. And let's go and put it up here inside of this, just off of our little corkboard we have here. And as you're going to see, this is going to play as everything else here is animated on the screen. See? Pretty neat. All right, so I'm going to go and get another one of these videos. Another thing you can do is you can just go and select the video, right-click on it, and say New Comp from Selection. And there it is, and it is very big. So again, I'm going to go and hit S to scale this down. So let's just scale it down. And I'm going to draw a rectangle around it again. So go up to the rectangle tool. Again, it's going to be white. And I'm just copying, or roughly copying, what is done inside of iMovie. Drag this down. And there you can see is another one. Go and get our selection tool here. Maybe, I don't know if I want to expand this a little bit. And adjust that background. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so we got that. Let's go back to our regular composition. We do that just by double clicking on Comp 1. And this is going to be a lot smaller. Just drag it down here, put it inside, and then make sure that it's above everything else so that it shows. And again, I'm going to be scaling and hold down Shift and R and rotating. So let's zoom in here a little bit. And the very first thing I want to do is I want to scale it down, and it's a lot smaller. So like that. And then I'm going to rotate it. So something that's roughly like that. Drag it. And let's put it right around in this vicinity. So there's another video that's playing. Let's go and get our last video. And again, I'm going to right click on it. New Comp from Selection. This is very different. Again, I'm going to S to scale. Bring it down in size. And I'm going to show you how to use masks also here in a minute to change the shape of these. Again, I'm going to draw a white border around it. Whoops, I turned it into a mask accidentally. Unselect everything. Go and draw a rectangle around it. go and get our shape layer, drag it behind our video. V for our selection tool. Go and enlarge it a little bit. Looks good. Click on Comp 1 to jump back to the original. Go and get our new composition. Drag it down here in our timeline. And again, let's put it on top by grabbing this little guy here and dropping it in there. Again, I'm going to be scaling and rotating, Shift R. And so let's go scale and let's drop this down a lot. So like something like this. And then the rotation, going to just rotate it a little bit this way and put it over top of this video and roughly in that area. All right. So now what I want to do is I'm going to have a completely different, this is going to be like a letterbox sized video. So I'm just going to go back to our original video and I can go new comp from selection again. And this time I am going to use a mask with this. So I'm going to make sure the layer is selected and I'm going to come in and let's say I want to come in and get something like this. So it's like a letterbox. All right. And I'm not going to put a white background on it this time. That looks fine. Just go into Comp 1. And let's drag this new composition down here and drop it in. And go and drag it, put it on top. And that's definitely weird looking. Let's just move it around here. And again, I'm going to go Scale, Shift R. Going to scale it down in size and rotate it. So something roughly like this. Drag it up inside of here. Again, let's rotate it again around. And I'm just messing around here trying to get roughly what I'm looking for. Let's go and to another video. And again, right click, new comp from selection. Let's also have this be like a letterbox sized thing. I'm just going to go make sure this is selected and then go and roughly make a box that looks something like this. That looks perfectly fine. Go back into Comp 1. Go and get my new composition. Drag it down here on the screen. Drag it to the top. There it is. Again, S, Shift R. I'm going to scale it down and I'm going to rotate it a little bit. Something like that. And then V so that I can drag it over here and put it roughly in this vicinity. And then we are going to go and get our main video part. And it might be actually easier to see what's going on here. If I look at where the background is here at the 3-second mark. So there that is. And then I'm going to go and do my final composition. And I'm just going to use these videos here instead of myself. I know you saw me at the very, very end. And I'm going to go new comp from selection. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go back to Comp 1. And I'm going to go and I'm going to animate all of these groups all at the same time by putting all of them in a pre-comp. So I'm going to collapse all of the pre-comps and put them into their own pre-comp. And how you can do that, and that allows you to go and animate multiple different pre-comps all as if they are one. So I'm going to select all the pre-comps and I'm going to come up here to Layer and I'm going to go to Pre-Compose right here. There you go. I'm going to come in and I'm going to select all of these options and then I'm going to hit OK. Now one trick here, and we are now in the pre-comp. One trick, however, is if you want to animate them with your background, you're going to have to make sure that this pre-comp's resolution is the same as your background. So you're going to click on background and you're going to look at it. It says 3,240 by 1823. So I'm going to make sure that my pre-comp has a size of 3,240. Otherwise, the different videos are going to get cut off, which would be bad. So let's come down here where it says pre-comp 1. Double click that. And I'm going to right click it and go composition settings. And I'm going to increase this to 3240. I'm going to click on lock aspect ratio and then increase this to 3240. And there it is. All right, 3240 by 1804 and click on OK. And what's really cool about this now is we can go back into our comp 1 and here is our pre-comp. We can come in and we can say position and we can zoom out of this and we can go to the 3-second mark, which is right here. And then we can take our pre-comp and change its position at the 3-second mark to the same as our background, or roughly the same. because they are roughly the same size. So I'm just going to drag the pre-comp up here so that it lines up with our top. And now if that goes the right way, then we should be able to come in here and see this animate as soon as the rendering takes place, that is. And then there's going to be another video that's going to be right here that plays. So I'm just letting this get all rendered out. All right, it finished rendering, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. This really brings the computer to its knees. All right, so here is your animation. There's all the different pieces, all animating. Of course, it's basically, you can't even notice it, but whatever. So there you go. And now on top of that, I'm going to add one more video, and I'm going to grab, which one do I want to grab? Let's grab the very, very first one. So I'm going to go to this video right here and right-click it, New Comp from Selection. This is going to be the last one. Again, I'm going to scale it. So let's go and scale it down. And I'm going to put a white border again around it. So, whoops, deselect everything, then select it, drag that around it. Go and get our shape layer, put it behind our video. Go V for our selection tool. Stretch this out a little bit and stretch it up a little bit. And this is going to be, and then I'll just move it around just so it looks kind of okay. All right, so there's the last one. And this is going to be on its own layer. So I'm going to drag this in and I am going to leave it on top. And I'm going to go scale, shift, rotate, and let's scale it down. And let's rotate it a little bit. And it's going to be the main part of the video. And let's go and scale it up a little bit. So there this is. And there is that animation. And then what I'm going to do is at the 3-second mark, that is where it is going to go and pull in here. So I am going to have it selected. And whenever I am at the 0 mark, so I'm going to select this and click on position. At the 0 mark, I'm going to have its position be like in this general vicinity. And it's going to zoom in and then it's going to go full screen. So I'm going to go position. And then at 3 seconds, I want its position to be like right here. And then at 4 something seconds, so let's take it up to 4:10, let's say, I am going to have its position change again so that it rotates and then scales to full screen. So that is going to be, let's just select it, go scale and rotate. Let's see what it looks like. If I am at this point right here, let's go scale down here. So scale and rotate. And then at 4 seconds, or 4:10 I said, I want it to rotate so that it is horizontal. Whoops, select that again. Rotate, and I'm going to take it to 0. That would be horizontal. And then I'm going to scale it and position it. So I'm going to hold down Shift, go P, and scale so I can see all of them at once. I want to position this guy in our center here. And let's say I come over and do a line and do center and center. Now it's in the perfect center. And then I want to scale it to 100%, actually more than 100%. So it's going to be like that. All right, and let's see what that looks like. This is probably going to take forever to render again. Actually, that didn't take too long at all. All right, so let's come in here. And here's our animation. And here it is running. All right, so pretty neat looking thing there, isn't it? All right. And just because, why not? I'm also going to throw in some animated text. So what I want is Adobe After Effects to be down here. So I'm going to deselect everything. And I'm going to say text. And I'm going to go Adobe After Effects. And I'm going to select it. And let's go and use a mask again with the text in this situation. I'm going to type in narrow here to get my narrow fonts. And I'm going to say that I want an Arial narrow bold. That looks kind of okay. And let's increase the size of this. So Adobe After Effects. Click on my selection tool so I can position it. And then I'm going to throw some masks on it. I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to grab this so that it does not show this sequence until 3 minutes in. I am then going to, actually, why don't I add a drop shadow effect? I don't think I've showed you how to do that yet. let's go to Effects and Presets, and I'm going to say Drop, and Drop Shadow should show up. There it is. So Drop Shadow's right here. So I'm just going to drag this little guy here, drop it on my text. Come over here, and let's increase the opacity to 60, say. And let's increase the distance to, say, I don't know, 15's fine, whatever you'd like. And then I want to mask each of these words and then add a glow effect to it. So make sure you have your text layer selected. And I want to zoom in here. I'm going to get my hand tool and move this up here so I can see it well. And I make sure you have your text selected. And I'm going to come in and draw a masks on each of these. And then animate each of them. So there's Adobe. And then I'm going to draw another one for After Effects. So Adobe, After, and Effects. There it is. And then I'm going to add a different animation for each one of these masks. Then I'm going to come down to where it says Mask 1, and I'm going to click on Mask Path. And I'm going to go and grab this guy, hold down the Shift key, and drag it off that way. I'm going to grab Mask 2 down here, again, stopwatch. And let's have this one maybe come from the top. And then I'm going to go to the third mask, do the same thing. And let's have this come in from the right side of the screen, say. All right, good stuff. All right, we're doing some crazy things. All right, then I'll jump in here to the very end of this video right there. And I'm going to change mask 1 position here so that it shows Adobe. And then the next mask, I'll drag it down. After, and the last one, Effects. All right, good stuff. And that will all animate also, but I'm not done. I'm also going to put a glow effect on this text, and then I'll be done. So I'm just going to leave all that selected, grab this text that I have here, come over here to Effects and type in glow. And you can see stylized glow shows up there. Just drag it over. Just drag it over and drop it on your text. And now it has a glow effect. And now if we come back and we play this, then we can play our whole entire video right here with all of our effects. All right, so there you go, guys. That's how you do some somewhat complicated animation in Adobe After Effects. Hopefully you guys found that useful. And like always, please leave your questions and comments down below. Otherwise, till next time.